Hi, Cami here, trauma coach and yoga therapist. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about dissociation, what it is, how it affects us, and offer you a really simple technique to help you process dissociation. So I'm reading this book, My Grandmother's Hands. It's amazing. I highly recommend it. And the book is about racialized trauma in all of the different bodies. And that's exactly the work that we do in yoga therapy and in trauma coaching. And what's interesting about what we do in our work is we don't have to go into the story of the trauma, the particulars of the trauma. Trauma healing is not about the trauma, but we do need to access the different sensations and the different reactions that have been stored in our body over time. Why? Why do we have to access that? Well, in Soma Yoga and in trauma healing, we undergo somatic re-education. And so we have to go into a conscious contraction, conscious constriction, conscious that gripping feeling, or sometimes it feels like this hot flush in our face, or a tightening in our heart, or churning in our lower abdomen. There can be a numbness, there can be just different sensations that take place. And over time, we learn how to recognize them, go into them, and then release them. And when we release them, we not only get the freedom from not having that constriction, but that then releases all of this energy that had been really bound up with the internalized trauma, basically. We release that, free up that energy, mental space. We often are relieving very real physical pain. And so when we don't have that chronic pain anymore, suddenly new worlds open. So this book, My Grandmother's Hands, is just such a beautiful exploration of all the different ways that racialized trauma has been embedded in all of our different bodies. So I just highly recommend this book. And I really recommend that you go through all the different exercises. Now, what I find with my clients is that to the degree that we have dissociation, meaning we're not embodied, we're not in our bodies, we don't have interoception, which is the perception of our inside experience. When we have that, we have all this unconscious pattern creation and pattern following. And we do these things that we don't understand. We do these old habits that we feel like we can't get out of. We might have trouble focusing, concentrating, reaching goals. We might make decisions in a way that are kind of incoherent when it comes to what our actual goals are. So when we are kind of under the influence of dissociation, a really helpful tool is to just get a little bit closer to interoception, to being embodied. It's kind of the opposite of dissociation. Now, dissociation can be very protective. There are times when we need to check out of our body while something really traumatic is happening. It can be a very protective thing for our system to do. But then later on, it's important to kind of reclaim that lost territory. A very simple way that we can get to more interoception and also just calm our central nervous system right away is by tapping. So just tap, 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 tap. When we tap, tapping anywhere. I'm tapping up here so you can see it, but you can tap anywhere, your hands, your arms, anywhere. When we tap, we are helping to strengthen our mind's own cognition of the fact that we have a physical body. Often we live our lives very cut off, neck up, and we forget that we even have a body. There are a million reasons for that, and I can talk about that. But today I'm mentioning this book to you. I will link it down in my Amazon storefront for you, make it easy to find. But I'm mentioning this book, telling you a little bit about dissociation, and then giving you a super simple tool that you can do anywhere. This can calm anxiety. It can help with habit interference. Like, let's say there's a habit you're trying to get rid of, you can do some tapping. It can also disperse extra energy. Like, have you ever seen a dog or a cat kind of shudder? Tapping can have a similar effect to that. And then it can absolutely help us move away from dissociation, where we're kind of unconscious in the constriction patterns and in the stored trauma, and move into conscious constriction, conscious contraction, and release. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.